Good evening.
Good evening.
We should start this podcast actually by talking about the last podcast. And by last podcast, I mean the lack thereof.
December, yeah.
Like the total, complete lack of a December podcast. No, we weren't just too lazy, derping around, having Christmas sex to just not do one. We actually did one. It was just, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
What exactly are you doing?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
John
Well,
Cena?
do do do
Awkward.
do do
But
do
yeah,
do.
yeah, sorry about that. That is chalked up to technical difficulties.
If anybody wants to hear it, that's too bad because it's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, we would prefer you don't commit suicide.
It was messed up good enough from audio troubles that I'm pretty sure Skrillex used that as the backing of his newest dubstep. So
Wow. Wow. Sick burn.
against who though?
Dang.
That I'm not sure if that's a burn against me for having crap all troubles with audio, or burn against Skrillex for sounding like crap all audio trouble, or both.
That's
Maybe both.
that's everyone. That
Okay,
is the entire world except Putin.
except Putin.
Except Putin.
One of my
Putin is
favorite things, by the way, is I don't know if I've showed you. Somebody mashed up the John Cena like intro GIF for Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, I know. I showed you that.
Did you? Were you the one?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it was
goodness!
I showed you unexpected Putin.
And it just has. It's the best thing because it's him walking into the room, and then you see like him arm wrestling a guy. It's just random crap, and I love it.
Fantastic.
Makes
It's
me so
fantastic.
happy.
I'm so sad that hasn't taken off into its own thing.
So, okay, this is totally not on the agenda, but a couple months ago there was an article, it was probably from one of the crappy meme pages I'm subscribed to, that talked about Russia banning some internet memes. Did you hear about that?
Oh, I had no idea about that.
Okay, we should move on to the next stuff, but I'm going to look this up and see if I can find it, because I want to tell you about this later. Because,
Shit. That makes me tempted just to pull the meme of the month from now on, just from Russia's banned meme
okay, um,
list.
okay, so this is from BBC News from April 2015. Uh, I just typed in Russia bans, and there was a whole bunch of stuff about memes being the first thing, of course. Uh, and apparently, according to the BBC, it wasn't that all memes are banned. It was, I'm not sure. Um, what if, so something happened, Russian state internet regulator posted a meme which was interpreted to be a blanket ban on memes in some weird ironic twist, and I don't really want to have to read the rest of the article to find out. But apparently, people thought that memes were banned in Russia. So if they're good
That's
enough for if they're
hilarious.
good enough for old Vlad, they're good enough for us.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should get into it. Today,
Oh my
and by it
goodness.
I mean the podcast,
Right. Right.
not John Cena
Do 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 do.
or
Uh,
some magical elf fairy, as we were discussing a minute ago.
that I didn't say we could talk about that publicly. No. Uh, no. Yeah. So, what do you have for us to talk about today, sir?
Okay, so first up, we're going to do a little Star Wars plug because why not capitalize upon that while we
Right. Right.
Then we're going to talk about some school things, some maybe less than scrupulous homework assignments and so forth.
Scrupulous. Hmm.
Less than ethical actions regarding ethical classes. No. I don't know specifically if it was ethics class, but maybe if Rapples does have something about that, you will have
I'll
to
tell
tell
about the
us.
time I almost didn't pass ethics. Sure.
So the first topic is we're going to do a review of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I thought it.
Spoiler-ish? Spoiler-ish?
Yes, yes, there will be spoilers.
Okay. So
I
just
don't know if
spoilers.
what you want to talk about is going to involve spoilers.
I,
What I
I
want to talk about involves some
I
spoilers.
mean, I could water it down, but you can't talk about something without talking about it. So
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
yeah. Let's talk about that. Shameless ripoff. That's what
Shameless.
we do.
Anyway, what did you think of Star Wars? Like,
I
first impressions.
yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was I thought it was a good continuation of the franchise. I also was very worried about it.
Yes, same.
I was excruciatingly worried about it. And I feel like I'm a bit of an outlier in this because I don't feel like most people were worried about it. When I was talking to other people, they're just like, "Oh, it's gonna be so good." I'm just like, "Eh," but that's mostly because I do not trust J.J. Abrams
After the
as far
butchering
as
that
like his
was
film.
Star Trek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't trust him at all.
If you think that the J.J. Abrams Star Treks were at all in the spirit of the original, or for that matter, if you want to fight with me that they were remotely good, bite me.
Okay, okay. I will. I will say one thing about the Star Trek movies, the new ones,
They
the
were
newest.
movies. That's a nice thing about
They
them.
were good movies.
Oh no.
They were okay movies, just straight up space adventure. But when you involve Star Trek and all of the feels that we have and all of the background and how well we know these characters, they were horrendous.
Yes.
There's no two ways about it. I did an absolutely horrendous job. I apologize. I now specifically boycott movies with Chris Pine in them.
What else has he been in?
Uh, well, just like he's actually getting it in a lot of movies now. For some reason, I don't know why. He's an awful actor, but
So better or worse? Switch out Chris Pine for Chris Pratt.
I feel like Chris Pratt could do 20 times the job
I
that Pine could do.
my head canon. I think I'm okay with switching out Chris Pine for Chris Pratt. Actually, I looked up his filmography, and 2014 is probably his most prolific year. Other than I think it is his most prolific year. Chris Pine. So he was in
Hmm.
4 films, which is
I,
remarkable.
I know he's coming up in that Finest Hours movie about the Coast Guard, which it looks like a really good movie, and I would see it. Except Chris Pine's in it, so now I don't. I'm not gonna go.
Who's
I'm just not gonna go.
so the finest hours? It has who's Casey Affleck? Is that related to Ben Affleck?
Probably, most assuredly. We're
Okay.
getting really off track here.
Oh yeah, it's his brother. Anyway,
This is rabbit hole. I called it. I called.
also I think I'm either going to boycott Star Trek Beyond or I'm going to go sit in the very back and like bring a vuvuzela with me or something and ruin it for everybody.
I will. I will tell you this. I will eventually see it. There is no way on God's green earth that I'm going to pay a full ticket movie price to go see that shit.
Amen.
I am
Amen.
perfectly happy waiting 5 years and get it free on Netflix for that overwhelming disappointment.
If I see you at all this summer, there's a decent chance it would be in the cheapo movie theater in my area, and if so, we should go make fun of it.
That's true. Okay, I'd do that.
But that's a big couple of ifs. And we're still way off topic because new Star Trek sucked, but new Star Wars was decent.
It was pretty good. I liked it a lot more than you did, as far as I can gather from us talking about it.
It's a good movie. It's not a bad movie in the way that just Star
No,
Trek Into Darkness is a plain old bad movie. It's
yeah,
not a bad movie. It has some flaws, but it's still enjoyable.
yeah. Why don't you talk about it first? Because I kind of have a list of things I want to talk about in
Okay,
my brain.
so, and I know the minute you mention Star Wars, people come out of the woodwork to say, oh my gosh, you're wrong, you're ruining my childhood. get over it. I'm saying some stuff that is. This is not to you, Sassy. This is to anybody listening. This is not meant to be a diss on people who like Star Wars or this film. These are just reasons why I didn't like it that much. So I had a big problem with Rey. And Rey, I think, is a really cool character. I really liked her. She's a good protagonist. She continues the lineage of strong protagonists who have raw, untapped potential, who, when they become trained, can become freaking awesome. And she's a really cool hero. And Finn was really fun to watch what happened. I
Can I
felt
just say I'm really glad that Star Wars finally had a female Jedi that's a main character. Because just like they've had female Jays before, like, it's like, oh, look, there's Ayla Secure over here. And she's on Felucia. Oh, look at all our cool female Jedis. But they haven't had her as a main character. I'm
also
glad they finally had a girl as main character because there's so many fantastic female Jedis.
Also, prequel spoiler, they all die. It's just the male Jedi who survives. So this is the first time we've actually seen in the present day of the Star Wars universe a female trained Jedi.
I suppose, although, I don't know. I don't think that was intentionally sexist.
No, I don't think so either, but
Okay.
it's a crappy side effect.
It is a bit of a crappy side effect, yeah.
And
But a crappy side effect is also uh um Anakin slaughtering a whole bunch of children. So
and Daisy
there's
Ridley,
more than one crappy side effect
well,
there.
yeah, Daisy Ridley did a great job with the character. I thought her acting was pretty good considering this is I think her first major motion picture.
I think
Um,
so.
she was in one more in 2015, but
Mm.
and she'd done some TV first. I just checked that out. But and John Boyega did a wonderful job, really fun to watch. Um, Kylo Ren, I dislike him, but not for the reason the movie wanted. The movie wanted me to hate him for being the bad guy, but I hated him because he was annoying. Uh,
I think you hated him because he's a hipster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, well, he's also a total Darth Vader fanboy, and he makes all the rest of us Darth Vader fanboys look bad. So,
He does have some serious grandfather issues.
yeah. Okay,
Which I would like to talk about that for just a moment.
as would I when you're done. Yeah.
I read a fan theory. When the first time when he's interrogating Ray
Yes.
and he takes his helmet off and puts it on that like plate of burning ashes.
Yes.
Okay, I have read a fan theory. I don't know if you're aware of this yet. I read a fan theory about how, when he's staring at the melted mask of Darth Vader, the last time we saw Darth Vader's body, he was being burned on a pyre on Endor by Luke.
Right.
And the fan theory is that that plate of ashes is Darth Vader's remains that Kylo Ren is keeping lit in his chambers.
That's an interesting fan theory. I like it because it doesn't change the course of the universe, but it adds a nice detail. I like that.
A really creepy detail.
It feels like something that Kylo Ren would do, though.
Yeah.
He has enough of a fetish for Darth Vader memorabilia that I mean, if there's a guy who's going to have a Darth Vader poster in his room and a lot of Darth Vader action figures who's fictional, it's going to be Kylo Ren.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Insert. Continue.
I really liked the characters for the most part. I thought that, the acting isn't stellar, but it easily compares to any of the first movies in the trilogies. It's definitely a rehashing of A New Hope, but it's a fun rehashing. A New Hope is my favorite of the original trilogy. I'm alone in that, I know, but um, it's a decent rehash of it. It's fun. The characters are good. A couple of complaints I had. I really didn't like. Okay, and people are going to dislike my use of this language, but I'm going to use it anyway. I think Rey is a Mary Sue, a total Mary Sue. And what I mean by a Mary Sue is I'm using this in a less literary context. Oh, hello, Facebook. Um, I
Hello.
I think that she gets to do everything way too easily.
Yeah.
And this is spoiler moment. So,
So that's something I'm going to bring up too. Continue.
she I'm good with someone being a good scavenger. I'm good with someone being a good scavenger and a Jedi and having force potential and learning how to do it easily. I'm fine with knowing how to fix things, but I'm fine with flying the Falcon as much as that pisses me off to say. But I'm not okay if you can do all of them the minute you try. And
Yeah,
she had, well, I mean, you can't let her die obviously if she tries and fails, but she never messes up.
a little bit.
I mean, never enough that it set her back significantly. I
Yeah,
mean, even in her fight against the big bad, who is proven to be possibly more force sensitive than Darth Vader, at least
yeah,
in Darth Vader's robotic body, she kept up with him with no formal training.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Now,
That's one of my biggest complaints is they set up the entire movie that Kylo Ren is one of the most powerful and one of the most, evil disruptive villains that we've had in a while. And that opening shot, the first thing that Kylo Ren does where he stops the bolt in midair, I was just like, dude, no one's been able to do that.
it's
Darth
freaking
Vader
cool.
lets it ping off his hand, but he stops it in midair. No one's been able to do that. That is completely brand new. He must be better than anything we've seen before. And they're just like, oh, someone who just held a lightsaber for the first time just whooped up on you. I mean, it's just like, I like
Now,
that she beat him. I just would live liked her to, like, I don't know, had to try harder.
yeah.
Him not to be completely demolished.
Now, I'm sure that someone will make an argument that he let her defeat him because he wants her to be an apprentice somewhere in the canon. And, there was some hints of that in the movie, but I don't think there's enough evidence to support that all the way.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to disagree with me on that. I don't know if there's a resolution for it. I just don't think it works as an objection.
Now that you bring that up, is an interesting point that every Sith Lord, every Sith apprentice, at some point takes their own apprentice on in secret to overthrow their master. And I think you might have a point there, kind of alluding back to his conversation with Han right before he killed him. It's just like, once he gets what he wants from you, he's just gonna kill you, right? Talking about Snoke. He's just gonna kill you, right? It's just like, yeah, I know. I'm just gonna do it anyway because I'm a whore.
So, yes or no? Should Kylo Ren turn to the light side by the end of the trilogy?
Um, I I am open to the possibility of it. It has to be hard for him.
Okay,
It can't be a last minute 5 minutes until the end of the last movie. Oh, by the way, I'm good now, and everyone just accepts it.
here's what I wanted to see, and I was actually really disappointed walking out that this didn't happen. I really wanted the first movie, Force Awakens, to be Kylo Ren's redemption story, and the other two having to be Kylo Ren figuring out what to do with himself now that we have seen him as a killer. What does it look like for him to be redeemed in that? So it's not 5 minutes before the end where the only thing you can do is sacrifice yourself to save your son. He has to make amends in the way kind of Razor does in Green Lantern. I wanted to see that. And now that they haven't done that, I want him dead.
Wow, that's harsh.
Well, I mean, what other point is there to his character? You don't want another Darth Vader 5 minutes before the end. I'm gonna save Rey for some reason.
No, I feel like I don't know. The second movie might be a good turning point for him when he goes back and there's the whole I'm going bring me Kylo Ren, I'm going to complete his training, as Snoke was saying. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to see where they're going to take the character. I'm most excited to find out about the Knights of Ren because I think that's going to be fantastic and interesting. But as far as Kylo goes, I don't know. I'm content for the moment, just leaving him there and seeing what his character does.
Will Luke die in Star Wars 8?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't know.
Because You don't think it's going to have to be the mentor dies and the protege will have to finish what they started?
Well, okay, so it, why I don't know is because okay, J.J. Abrams completely copied the formula to New Hope,
Right.
as everyone has realized. And one of those things is in New Hope, Obi-Wan dies because Darth Vader kills him. That's mirrored by Han Solo dying because Kylo Ren kills him.
Right.
In Empire Strikes Back, nobody significant dies.
Any hands lost in episode 8?
Maybe,
I'm tired
maybe.
of hands being
Now,
lost.
Kylo Ren might have lost a hand. Kylo Ren might actually had need cybernetics. That we might be shown that in episode 8. That he might have a robotic hand. Which, if he did get his hand chopped off by Rey, then that's just gonna make the whole Darth Vader thing fetish even worse.
Right.
It's not gonna be a
Okay,
plus.
here's what I was jonesing for other than that moment on the bridge turning out differently. Was I really wanted Anakin's Force Ghost to come back and kick Kylo Ren's ass.
I think something along those lines will be involved in the future. Just like, dude, just like I don't think that way anymore. I didn't before I died. Pull your head out of your ass.
You killed us
Stop.
all as children. Awkwardness
uh,
is.
awkward. So yeah, there's that.
Uh,
One of my biggest other complaints with the movie. I'm just gonna talk about this now. Um, so going into the Force Awakens, did you hear anything about a lot of fan speculation that Luke Skywalker is the bad guy? That Luke
yes.
had turned back to the dark side and Luke was Kylo Ren.
Yes.
Okay. So I think they told us that Kylo was Han's son like within the first 20 minutes.
Yes.
And I was so disappointed with that. I think they should have strung it out. Now, his interrogation scene with Ray would have to be completely different because he should have had to have kept the mask on. Either that or do like camera stuff where you never see his face and and the voice changing, but that should have been different. When he attacks the base and Han and Leia then talk afterwards, Han shouldn't have said, I saw him, Leia, I saw our son. It's just, I saw him, Leia, he was here, stuff like that. They should have waited to the big reveal that Kylo Ren is Han's son until they are on the bridge facing each other. What do you think you'll see when I take the mask off? The face of my son. That will blew everyone away. Everyone will have been thinking that was Luke Skywalker this entire time. It takes the mask off as Kylo Ren. It's just like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay.
But do you know why they didn't do that? This is my number one hunch why they didn't do that.
Because they didn't want it to be another episode 8. No, I am your father.
No.
Why?
Because they needed to give the actor more face time.
I'll
Seriously.
I'll accept that canon. I'll
Seriously.
accept that.
Seriously, I really do think that is one of the reasons why. Because that will have been such a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
You could have strung all of them along this entire time.
Well, I think they were also counting on the fact that the bridge scene would have enough emotional weight with Han's death that they didn't need to make it the reveal as well. It would be too fast.
Maybe not.
But
I don't know.
I like that idea, but I also like the way they did it. I feel like both would have worked. But um, I I liked the fact we didn't have to guess as to um, who it was. It felt like
That's true.
it was more straightforward of a plot. And
That's true.
actually, if anything, it felt too resolved.
Yeah.
It felt very resolved. I don't feel like I need to go see episode 8 to see how episode 7 turned out.
Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know. I still think it will have been a fantastic reveal, and I think people. I don't know. I think I would have enjoyed the movie. enjoyed the movie better if that blew everybody's minds. Just like, oh, spoilers.
how would you rate it? I'll tell you how I rate it first, but um, I rated it in three ways. As a movie, I gave it an 8 out of 10. As a Star Wars movie, I gave it a 7 out of 10. And as a Han Solo movie, I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I think I would give it an 8.5 out of 10 across the board.
Really, just straight
Yeah.
across.
I was satisfied with it. It didn't. There weren't a whole lot of moments that absolutely shocked me. The bolt, the bolt stopping, like I was talking about at the earlier, was probably the only time I was like, "Whoa!" The only
Right.
moment where I was like really in awe of anything. The rest of it is just, yeah, it was formulaic. Didn't like that as much, but it was a good movie and it was a good Star Wars movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing the other ones.
The one I'm actually most looking forward to is not 8, but I'm really looking forward to the Rogue One.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting.
I'm excited to see a midquel. I think that'll be very good.
A midquel.
It's that's
I'm
a
excited to. I am excited to have a whole batch of original characters.
yes, and see how they fit into the existing universe.
Yeah, I think that will force them to not be so formulaic.
Okay, what's next?
All right, next is talking about phoning in assignments.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, have you ever phoned in an assignment that you can remember, or should I go first?
Um, I haven't really phoned in an assignment the way you were describing it. I will say that not last fall, but the fall before, I was taking an awful class in college, uh, cellular and molecular biology.
Ugh.
It was the absolute worst class I have ever taken.
Hmm.
It was the absolute hardest class I've ever taken at in my entire academic career, and the teacher was the absolute god awful pompous ass, the most pompous, arrogant son of a bitch that I've ever met in my entire life.
Wow.
He's one of those people. He degraded other students. The course was taught by two professors, and they traded off. His name is Dr. Mark Grimes. I wish I could say was because I killed him, but no, he is still living, sadly.
This
Um,
episode brought to you from prison.
oh, I would get caught. No one suspects the fat kid.
Oh my goodness.
You have to go tweet that. So yeah, he degraded his teaching partner. He was just like, after his the other professor had been teaching for a couple weeks, then Grimes was like, "Oh well, now that he's covered the basics, now I'm going to talk to you about what's actually important." And just absolute total bullshit like that. And I lost emotional interest in the class probably a month into it, and then kind of just bullshit my way through the rest of it, and was rewarded, uh, you know, with C plus, which is my lowest grade in my entire academic career. But I didn't give a shit, so
Yay?
well, I got through it. I passed it. A lot of people didn't. Like 60% of that class either drops out or fails every single time he teaches it.
That's awful.
Yeah, he really has to have tenure, or else I don't understand why
Even
the university
people
keeps
with
him.
tenure don't have immunity from performance reviews, though. It protects you to
Not
say whatever you want, but you still have to have a certain amount of good reviews and students passing your class to maintain employment.
Yeah, but there's that, but the board, you still can't get fired unless you piss off absolutely everybody in the university.
Right, fair enough. Um,
And I
there are
feel like a lot of people are apathetic towards it. I feel like probably a lot of the upper board members are apathetic about it because he is smart. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He does a lot of original research that brings the university name recognition and money, but he is not a nice person. He is not a good person, and that is infuriatingly frustrating.
Well, my phoning experience was a lot more positive.
Well, that's good.
I have a couple of them. I've gotten really lucky on my grading compared to my effort in my life. I'm a lot better at it now than I used to be because I work really hard now. But there were a lot of times in my life that, due to circumstances or effort or whatever, I just didn't try. I had the one I was thinking of when I was talking about this was one time I had a family member in the hospital, and so I didn't have the time to do an assignment very well. But I didn't tell my professor this because I didn't want pity points. So I had a presentation I had to give, and with no preparation and no writing, I was riding the bus up there. I wrote down 5 minutes worth of 10 bullet points of things I wanted to talk about in my presentation. I walked in, I presented, and I got a 4.0 on that presentation.
That's pretty fantastic.
Having done no research, no preparation other than the bullet point outline on a sheet of notebook paper. But I like public speaking, so I just talked out of my butt, and whatever happened, happened.
4 out of what?
4 out of 4.
4 out of 4. Okay.
Yeah,
Just I got 4 out of 10. Awkward.
4 out of 100.
Four.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
Is it time to get deep?
Oh, it's always time to get deep. So yeah, our question of this month is, and I'm gonna make you answer this first. When you talk to me, when you talk about me to others, what do you say?
I'm going to answer it by telling. I say how I know you primarily. When somebody says, "Oh, who's Sassy?" Since I'm not going to use your real name, I would say, "Oh, I knew Sassy from high school. We were in choir together. We griped about all that was wrong in the world and still disagreed on what to do, but we enjoyed griping. We leaned on a lot of garbage cans, or at least leaned on the same garbage can a lot of times. Um,
I miss that garbage can.
and I do too. Man, we'll have to have Healbot lean on it for us. Oh no, but Healbot's at a different place now.
He's
Oh,
in a
that makes
different
me sad.
place. At least he's in a better place.
Sail away. Um,
Wow. Oh
well,
God, we're so
yeah.
meta.
Except no one understands that reference because it's unreleased.
It's fine. We understand it, and it's beautiful. And I'm crying.
In in someday we will release it in 10 years from now, and people will come back and be like, "This was in the plan all along." Illuminati confirmed. Yeah.
I really
Um,
like it if the Illuminati contacted me and asked me to be a member of the Illuminati. I would
we
say
might even get
yes and
famous
ask
for
them
it.
for money.
Sponsored by the Illuminati. We need to form a company just called like Illuminati Inc. and sponsor a bunch of stuff on PBS. So they're like, this program was brought to you by the Illuminati.
They have to. They have to say it. They're not allowed not to.
We've been working on forming the New World Order for over 100 years.
Wow.
The Illuminati. Come see what we have for you.
Wow.
With aluminum foil. I also, going back to the actual question, I tell them stuff of how I met you, and I also say that I hang out with you and do podcasty stuff and play Minecraft and talk about the same stuff, basically, with the same disagreements and agreements and stuff going on. And I hang out with you, and you're one of my best friends.
I'm a good Minecraft.
It always makes me a little awkward whenever I hear someone say that word when I'm in college, and I'm like, oh, do people know I play that game? What's going on?
Minecraft? Do
No.
you guys play Minecraft? I always thought it was kind of weird.
What plebs you are. Oh my
You
goodness.
just kind of like try to play on download. Just like, oh, you play Minecraft? I didn't think you would be a Minecraft person. That game's kind of weird. They're just like, well, yeah, I've been really active on Mineplex. Oh, Mineplex? Do you like Block Hunt? My favorite game's Block Hunt. I mean, Mineplex? What's that?
Sounds like it sucks. Psst. Mindplex, you don't suck. Give us money.
If you gave us money, Mineplex, I would lie out of my asshole and say that you don't suck.
Oh
Right
my
now you
goodness.
do.
Okay.
Pay me off,
So,
and I'll give you good Yelp reviews. Just like
good Yelp reviews.
like just like you pay people off to like give you good Yelp reviews if you're a business. So it's just like, well, you're Mindplex. People don't Yelp about you. People just scream help about you because you suck. So if you want to
Basically.
artificially not suck, and by artificially I mean just us not talking about how much you suck, you should just pay us, and then we'll be happier.
We're we're gonna get shadow banned now so hard.
Really?
Probably.
I doubt it. Do you know
Wow.
why?
Why?
Because in order to get banned, someone would have to report us, and we're not going to report ourselves. So there's no one else involved in this conversation. No one else would
I'm
use
seriously
this
thinking
conversation.
about reporting myself now.
Why?
Name of offender Bob Frapples 49. Offense smack talking Mindplex. Evidence podcast.
Podcast.
Hey, somebody would listen to it that way.
we
I mean,
we would force people to listen to the entire podcast because we conveniently put this at the back.
oh my goodness. Start talking bad things about people and post it on their websites and be like, please listen to this and then ban us. Also, like, favorite, and subscribe while you're there. Oh my
I
goodness.
can just see some poor Mindplex employee saying that. It's like, all right, let's check out this report. Really? There's a genetic obesity trigger in humans? That's really cool.
Oh, by the way, you're banned.
Oh, I love F Shark. Oh, yeah, you're banned.
yeah,
Time
yeah.
lapse, an hour and a half later, you're banned. But hey, I'll subscribe to you. That was a fun and informative podcast.
And I do have enough Mindplex videos, raw videos stored up that I haven't edited yet that I could do one every day for at least 2 months.
Wow, we play way too much Mindplex.
I haven't played any Mindplex since that time we played like 2 weeks ago. And I hadn't played before that in over a month.
It's good to have a lot of Mindplex off time. Get on for like 2 days,
Mindplex,
rage
yeah.
quit for like a month, and then you can go back.
Mindplex is a lot more fun when you're playing with a group you're in Skype with because when you're by yourself, one jerkbag says something and suddenly your day is
Yeah.
ruined. But when you're with a group, you're like, strength in numbers. You don't even have to
Yay.
be teamed. You just have to not suck.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
What? When you talk about me to others, what do you say?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I'm going to answer the question as you're supposed to instead of the half-assing that you did.
I did not
You kind of phoned
half-ass.
that in.
I full-assed that
You
question.
kind of phoned
I
that in.
okay. I three-quarter asked that
Oh
question.
yeah, there you go. So, mostly, I'll have to admit, I'll be talking about you, and then someone will be like, wow, it really seems like your opinions on politics and especially, but other things as well really differ from this person. Why do you hang out with him? It's just like, why do you subject yourself to that kind of negativity? And most of what I say is because it's not negativity. I talk about how I really think it is one of those things that the human conversation has is dying if it's not already dead. And I feel like too often we confine ourselves to people who are like us, people who only think the same things that we do, and we only hang out with people who are similar to us and share a lot of the same interests and a lot of the same belief systems and things. And there's positives in that, but there's also a lot of j- just just circular reasoning, and I've found especially um in the circles that I travel is when everybody agrees on things, your reasons for why you believe that go down the toilet. immediately, because if everybody believes what you believe, you stop listing facts, you stop explaining why you believe things because no one challenges it. So you're just like, well, this is what we believe, and I believe that is a horribly dangerous spiral. And so one of the biggest reasons why you are one of my best friends is because no topic is safe. Just we will talk about everything, and there will be incredibly awkward moments, and we will fight like cats and dogs. But at the end of the day, we're we're still good people, and we are good and kind to each other, and we're friends, and it just works.
It does
So,
pretty well.
yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
I think that we've figured out how to give each other crap in a way that doesn't bother each other most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
When
And then
when
someone
you
will
were
say something.
ensuing that I was gay in our epic rap battles face off, I was a little offended by that, but you know. It was just out
Yeah,
of left
well,
field, total low blow. It's just like, why, why?
that was a whole awkward circumstance unto itself, but that does not justify what was said. It was definitely over the top, but that was awkward in many ways, actually.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. But we knew it
Yeah,
was a really bad idea going in, so
yeah, it went about as well as could be expected, which is not well,
yeah, pretty much.
not well, pretty much.
But hey, live, live and learn.
Well, this has been an interesting time of communication and discussion,
Communicate.
basically. Basically. Anyway, um, yeah, we should totally do this again sometime.
Like next month or something.
Yes.
So, yeah, you should go like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and go watch our other crap.
Yeah. Other crap is going slowly as of now because school is a thing. But there's a lot of other crap in the pipeline. I posted the first thing of the last of the Moonrise Kingdom series, and there's plenty more Mechanists. There's, oh my goodness, so many more hours of Mechanist footage to be edited. And we're still playing on that twice a week.
All night long. All night long.
Oh, not long. Um, and then probably other stuff coming in the near future when I can have time to edit, but not this weekend because I'm going out of town. Woo!
Woo! Are you gonna be there
And,
Saturday?
and no, I'm not. And by this weekend, I mean last weekend for everybody listening because I'm not going to get it done before I go. So
We're gonna have another January podcast in February.
well, yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
And then we'll do a February podcast in February, hopefully. But
We'll see.
the server should still be on Saturday. I'm going to see if I can figure out the scheduling before I go.
Sweet.
Yeah. And there might even be internet where I am, but I wouldn't be able to play. So I would just be able to turn it off.
That's fine. Take a break.
Maybe walk in and say hello.
That's fine. Take a break. You deserve it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But have fun on the next time we do that. And thank everybody for listening. Thank y'all.
Thank you. You're magnificent.
Okay. Let's call it a night. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Good night and good evening.